Finally, let's move on to the leftist third and final argument in favor of free tuition, which is that it increases equity in Canada. Equity is different from equality. Equality says we should treat everybody the same. Equity says that we have to recognize that people start in different places, and so we have to treat them differently to try and level the playing field. Presumably, when leftists apply this equity lens to the tuition debate, they're saying that people don't always start in the same place financially, so we have to help lower income people make that leap into post-secondary by covering the cost of their tuition. But a universal free tuition policy does the exact opposite of that. In fact, free tuition policy is often defined as a regressive one. The opposite of progressive, it's regressive because it helps the rich people in Canada a lot more than it would help the actual poor. As Tristan Hopper points out in a National Post column, according to Statistics Canada, nearly 80% of children from the richest fifth of Canadian households go to post-secondary education. Among children from the bottom fifth, the rate is less than 50%. So by eliminating tuition fees, the benefits would disproportionately accrue to the wealthy Canadians already sending their kids to university. And this really seems to be a common theme on this show, Reality Check, is questioning why leftists, when they claim to want to help the most vulnerable in society or the lowest income, why they always insist on these grand universal programs that pay for everything for everyone, even the rich who don't need the help. Why not just focus your efforts on those who actually need it? Now, one of the weirder claims that I found from the left regarding this issue of free tuition comes from the Green Party of Canada. On their website, it states, and I quote, "Students are one of the most disadvantaged groups in society," end quote. A Canadian student is in an incredible position of privilege. And this statement by the left is contradictory in itself, because if they're saying that access to education is the path out of poverty and a path to self-betterment and higher earning potential, then it's unclear why they would suggest that a student is so disadvantaged. And if there is a genuine concern for equity here, then it's really questionable why they would suggest that people who haven't had the opportunity or perhaps the inclination to attend a post-secondary institution, why they should be saddled with the cost of sending someone else to. As Norma Kazaya from the Montreal Economic Institute said, "By broadly subsidizing higher education more heavily, the average taxpayer is in effect financing the high salary earners of tomorrow. It should be asked if this is fair for people who do not benefit from university to contribute to its financing to this extent." But ultimately, painting the cost of tuition as an equity issue fundamentally misunderstands the reason why people choose not to attend post-secondary. As University of Ottawa economist Ross Finney points out, cultural factors are a more relevant predictor of one's decision whether or not to attend post-secondary. Corroborating these findings, Kelly Foley, who's an economic professor from the University of Saskatchewan, points out, quote, "Research suggests that before students ever reach the barriers posed by the costs of applying for and enrolling in university, disadvantage and less skills investment in early childhood can represent a brick wall. Thus, the link between family income and university enrollment is largely, though not entirely, driven by factors that wouldn't be ameliorated by making university free." So in conclusion, eliminating the cost of tuition for Canadians would not eliminate the underlying factors that influence why individuals choose to or to not attend post-secondary in Canada.